All right, let's do our draft winners and losers. My winner is the New York Rangers. They went out and got 2 dynamic scorers. Greg said 2 of the best players from 5 years ago. I think that's true, but that's a pretty good team that got a lot better. And, Patrick Kane shines the brightest on the big stage. I'm really looking forward to see what happens to him as the season goes on and kind of beyond. Like, I don't know if the Rangers have room for him next year. So where does Patrick Kane end up?
I don't know.
It remains to be seen. But, boy, it's the Rangers went out there. They got Tarasenko. They got Kane. They got it done, and I'm excited to watch them. Yeah. All right. Who's your winner, Greg?
It's going to pain me to say this, but it's not a team that's going to be going to the playoffs. But I'm going to give the St. Louis Blues the nod for winning the trade deadline, for retooling on the fly here. They traded away Ryan O'Reilly and Vladimir Tarasenko, 2 of their biggest contributors to their Stanley Cup win, their captain in O'Reilly. But they got 2 first-round picks, second-round pick, third-round pick. They reloaded, and they traded away Ivan Barbashev to get Zach Dean, who's still, one of those type of prospects I think we wanted to see here.
Top prospect, yeah.
So they were able to bring in some guys, and then they brought in Kapanen because they have the room. But when you look at that team, they're locked in for a while. Their core is signed for at least 3 seasons. Braden Shen, Pavel Buchnevich, Brendan Saad, Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas. On the back end, you still have Justin Falk, Torrey Krug, Nick Leddy, Colton Parayko. They're all there. They added Jacob Verana at the deadline
for nothing,
and he'll be there next year. They've got a solid team. They were able to get guys that weren't coming back next year and get 2 first rounds. So now you're going to be able to add some more prospects, more young players through the draft this year to add to this core you have. All they really need is a new head coach and maybe a goalie, and they might have something.
They're doing what the Blackhawks
could have
and should have done around the 2017-18 season.
That's good GMing by the St. Louis Blues. It pains me to say it because I don't like that organization, but they've got a good plan going on there. Will it work out? Who knows? But they're my trade deadline winners.
Super chat from Windy City Hockey. Thanks for the $2. Yes, Gutman did not get sent down for the AHL playoffs. That is, we talked about that just recently. We're all puzzled, but that is not going to be happening for old goal Gutman. My winner is it's funny we're flanking Greg with the 2 teams he hates the most,
and I picked one of the teams.
And you picked the Blues. My winner were the Toronto Maple Leafs. You get the aforementioned Ryan O'Reilly. You bring in Jake McCabe, Sam Lafferty to a roster that is already very deep, very dangerous. They're trying to build themselves to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is a good recipe to try and advance in the Eastern Conference Finals or Eastern Conference playoffs as a whole. So good luck to them. Any team getting Jake McCabe is a winner in my book. So Toronto Maple Leafs
and Sam Lafferty,
go do the thing. Go do the thing and get out of the first round.
There you go. All right, now for
and
the
Noel
loser.
Acciari too, as Philip mentioned.
Yeah, they did a great job. There's no question about that. I think Kyle Dubas, lame duck GM, learned his lesson when he's like, well, I don't want to give up a first for Marc-Andre Fleury. All right, there you go.
Hey,
now he knows his job's on the line.
He was giving up draft picks he may never need. So.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Now for the losers. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Penguins just because I don't really understand what they're doing. I don't understand the plan. They acquire Nick Bonino today. Okay. They trade Brock McGinn for Dmitry Kulikov. Okay. They trade a second-round pick for Michael Granlund. Do any of those guys move the needle? They make them a little bit deeper, but we spent a lot of the show talking about the Eastern Conference. This does not make the Penguins a contender. None of these moves make the Penguins contenders. I just don't understand what Ron Hextall is doing there. And maybe it's from his days when he was a Flyers goalie and he's just trying to stick it to the Penguins. Like it's the long play for Ron Hextall. He's going to go out giving double birds when he gets fired. Like, I did this on purpose. I don't know. I just don't get it. You could say the same about the Canucks. I don't understand the vision. And like we said, it's very reminiscent of what He Who Shall Not Be Named would do.
Nice to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, where you're just like, what does this accomplish? Like, okay, these are guys I've heard of. Great. But what is the end game? The end game should be winning the Stanley Cup. Are the Pittsburgh Penguins going to win a Stanley Cup this year or next or in the next 3? No. Absolutely not.
No.
I just don't get what the plan is, and I guess you're thinking, hey, we've only got so many years left to Sidney Crosby, so we got to do what we can to win again with him. It's exactly where the Hawks are right now because they waited too long.
It seems like if they make the playoffs, it's going to be enjoy your 5 games and book your tee times.
Josh Yohe, I don't know how to pronounce. He's the Penguins writer for The Athletic. He laid into them this week, saying Ron Hextall is running this organization in the ground, saying the team needed to get bigger, younger, and faster, and Mikael Granlund does not check any one of those boxes, and he's on the hook for another couple years. So, yeah, I don't get what Pittsburgh's doing, but as somebody who hasn't forgiven them for 1992,
nor should you.
I'm enjoying that they're in hockey hell. My loser, it was tough to pick up a team because Penguins was definitely a choice. I was almost ready to just announce the entire Western Conference, but I'm going to go with the Calgary Flames because this was a team that I picked to win the Stanley Cup at the beginning of the year, so my apologies, Calgary. It's my fault.
It's a good
They're
pick, though.
not even in the playoffs as we speak. They won the offseason. They are offseason champions by getting Huberdeau and Weegar and Kadri. Those were guys who are like, that's going to put them over the top. They've become more of a Daryl Sutter type team. They're going to win playoff hockey games. And they just haven't had it. Now, Jacob Markstrom has been bad.
Yeah,
and that's a
tough.
big problem. They have lost 24 one-goal games this season. That is an incredible stat. And that is why they're not in the playoffs as we speak. For them to not go out and do much of anything, they traded the Ritchie brothers and they got Troy Stetcher. Whoop the effing do. Like,
your third
don't forget they got Dryden Hunt as well.
Yeah.
That sounds like something. Never mind.
Get a cream for that.
Woo, yeah, I was gonna say you could probably need an ointment for that. That's why KY was invented. Anyway, they
Oh Lord.
Well, you knew it was going to get off the rails at some point.
Yes. Of course.
Hey, we're over time, so this is off the rails.
Yeah, exactly.
This is off the rails.
This is free.
time
Yeah.
now.
So,
This is just for the fans.
Flames, they needed to do something. They needed to add a dynamic to that team. We know that their GM is definitely aggressive. They won the offseason and then didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They're going to go with the guys they got, which on paper should be good enough to be not only a playoff team, but a serious threat in the postseason. Let's see if it happens, but I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't make a big move.
Well, and the other thing, too, you talked about them winning the offseason, and they were like, Johnny Gaudreau decides not to resign, and then Matthew Tkachuk doesn't sign, so they're like, oh, my God, like, what are we going to do here? And they recover and actually bring in good players. You can say, wow, they signed Kadri, they trade Tkachuk for Huberdeau and somebody else, right? And you look at on paper, they look like a better team, and the one goal thing is crazy. And if Markstrom is having a normal Markstrom season, they're probably winning more than half of those
Probably
losses.
leading the division.
Yeah. But, man, it's crazy that they did nothing. And Philip says, wasn't there a rumor that Lucic was going to get traded to Chicago? No, we use that as an example of a team looking to get rid of a big salary to bring in somebody else.
They could have traded Lucic and a pick here to the Hawks. So now they have cap space to go out and get, Timo Meier or whoever.
But you need a guy like Lucic in the playoffs.
Sure you do.
You can't win without him.
Who's going to spear an opponent in the balls if you don't have Milan Lucic?
Daryl Sutter will from
question.
the bench.
Dryden Hunt.
And they're not going to, and Calgary's not a team that should be really, they've got Kadri signed until 28-29. They've got Huberdeau signed till 2030-31.
That's not
at
real.
$10.5 million.
That's not a real year.
Joke's on us. That year's never actually happening.
They're gonna have to try to keep winning. So I don't know. Whatever.
Interesting.
It was weird. Weird they did nothing.
My loser is the Vancouver Canucks, another team with seemingly no plan. You go out and you get rid of Bo Horvat. And you get a first-round pick for him, and that's your big your big selling point. And we're gonna retool the roster, and Brock Besser and JT Miller might be out the door as well. Well, neither one of those two are out the door, but it is out the door. The first-round pick you got for Bo Horvat because you went and got Philip Hronek. What are you doing, Vancouver? You are over the cap and out of the playoffs. What the hell is happening to the Canucks? Like they have no idea what they're doing.
No, Jim Rutherford has lost his damn mind.
No idea what is happening there. And Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes are just being wasted in Vancouver. So I don't know what you're
couldn't
doing.
happen to a nicer bunch of folks.
Yeah,
Vancouver's a beautiful city.
I went there a few years ago for a friend's wedding and had a great time.
Beautiful city.
See the views and the weather were great. It was in the summer. It was nice. Went hiking. Went to Stanley Park. It was great. Loved Vancouver. The Canucks, a shitbag fire. Like who? I have no idea what they're doing.
Smells terrible. Well, I mean, what do you expect? It's an organization that has a statue of a man crying to the referees.
Well,
That's a good point.
there you go.
It's literally their statue out front of the arena is Roger Nielsen waving his white towel because he was complaining at the referees during a playoff series against the Blackhawks.
There you go.
So when your motto of your franchise is "Boo hoo, it's not going our way," that's what that's what you get.